Long before meditation became an app, a productivity tool, or a trend marketed for stress relief, it was born from a far more uncomfortable question. Why do human beings suffer? Not pain alone, but a deeper unease, a restlessness that survives success, a dissatisfaction that lingers even when life appears complete, a sense that something is always missing, even when nothing is wrong. The Buddha did not begin with meditation as a technique. He began with observation. He looked directly at the human condition, not as philosophy, not as religion, but as lived experience. Birth, aging, illness, loss, fear, craving, disappointment. These were not accidents. They followed patterns. And if suffering followed patterns, then freedom from suffering might also follow patterns. Meditation in Buddhism is not an escape from life. It is a way of seeing life clearly. That is why it works. The Buddha's first insight was unsettling. The human mind is not calm by default. It is reactive. It clings to pleasure, resists pain, and constantly narrates reality through desire and fear. Thoughts arise without invitation. Emotions surge without permission. Memories return even when they hurt. Plans multiply even when the present moment is enough. From a Buddhist perspective, most suffering does not come from events themselves, but from the mind's relationship to those events. Meditation works because it does not attempt to control life. It begins by understanding the mind. When one sits in silence and observes the breath, something quickly becomes obvious. The mind does not stay still. It wanders, judges, remembers, imagines, resists the very act of sitting. This is not failure. This is discovery. Meditation works because it reveals the truth. The chaos was always there. Silence simply made it visible. In everyday life, the mind is constantly busy interpreting. Every sound becomes a story. Every sensation becomes a preference. Every emotion becomes an identity. I am angry. I am anxious. I am bored. I am happy. Buddhism questions this habit. Through meditation, one learns to observe sensations, thoughts, and emotions without immediately claiming them. A feeling arises. It stays for a moment. It passes. A thought appears. It dissolves. Another replaces it. Nothing stays. This is not philosophy. It is direct experience. Meditation works because it trains the mind to see phenomena as they are, impermanent, conditioned, and not fully under control. When anger is observed rather than obeyed, its power weakens. When craving is noticed rather than indulged, it loses urgency. When fear is watched rather than resisted, it changes shape. The mind begins to understand something crucial. It does not have to react to everything it experiences. Freedom begins there. According to Buddhism, suffering persists because of ignorance. Not a lack of information, but a misunderstanding of reality. We assume permanence where there is change. We assume control where there is uncertainty. We assume a solid self where there is a flow of experiences. Meditation works because it gently dismantles these assumptions. By watching the breath, one sees that even the most basic act of living is not owned. Breathing happens whether one commands it or not. By watching thoughts, one realizes they arise on their own. By watching emotions, one sees they follow conditions. This insight is not depressing, it is liberating. If thoughts are not fully mine, I do not have to believe them all. If emotions are not permanent, I do not have to fear them. If identity is not fixed, I am not trapped by it. Meditation works because it interrupts the automatic loop between stimulus and reaction. In that pause, wisdom grows. Modern culture often treats meditation as a way to control the mind. Calm it, focus it, discipline it. Buddhism takes a different approach. The Buddha taught that awareness must come before control. One cannot wisely direct what one does not understand. Meditation works because it prioritizes awareness over suppression. Instead of pushing thoughts away, one notices them. Instead of chasing peace, one watches restlessness. Instead of forcing calm, one studies agitation. Over time, the mind learns from itself. This learning is not intellectual, it is experiential. The mind sees the consequences of craving. It notices how grasping leads to tension. It observes how letting go brings ease. No belief is required. Reality teaches directly. At the heart of Buddhist teaching is craving, desire for pleasure, desire to avoid pain, desire to become something more, something else. Craving is not condemned. It is understood. Meditation works because it exposes craving at its root. When one sits still, craving becomes obvious, the urge to move, the desire for the session to end, the wish for a better experience, the hope for progress. Instead of fulfilling these urges, meditation asks only that they be seen. When craving is observed without feeding it, something unexpected happens. It weakens, not because it is fought, but because it is understood. The mind begins to see that craving promises satisfaction, but delivers restlessness. This insight changes behavior naturally, without force. This is why Buddhist meditation leads to ethical living, not through rules, but through clarity. One of the Buddha's core insights was impermanence. Everything that arises passes away. Meditation works because it allows this truth to be experienced directly, moment by moment. A sensation arises in the body. It fades. A sound appears. It disappears. A thought forms. It dissolves. Nothing can be held. When impermanence is understood, not as an idea, but as a lived experience, attachment loosens. Fear softens. Loss becomes less devastating. Change becomes less threatening. This does not remove pain. It removes resistance to pain. Suffering decreases not because life improves, but because the mind stops demanding that life remain unchanged. Buddhism challenges one of the most deeply held assumptions, that there is a permanent, unchanging self behind experience. Meditation works because it investigates this assumption. Where is the self? In the body? The body changes. In thoughts? Thoughts come and go. In emotions? Emotions rise and fall. What remains? Meditation does not answer this question with words. It dissolves the question by revealing experience as a process rather than an owner. This realization reduces suffering because much pain is self-centered. Why is this happening to me? What does this say about me? How do I protect myself? When the sense of a solid self softens, life becomes less personal, less threatening, less heavy. Compassion naturally increases because the boundary between self and other becomes less rigid. In Buddhism, meditation is often misunderstood as a search for stillness or bliss. Stillness may arise, bliss may appear, but they are not the point. Meditation works because it trains wisdom, not because it produces pleasant states. Pleasant states pass, wisdom remains. The Buddha warned against attachment even to meditative joy. Anything that is clung to becomes another source of suffering. The true measure of meditation is not how calm one feels while sitting, but how one responds when life is difficult. Does anger arise less quickly? Does compassion appear more naturally? Is there more space between impulse and action? If yes, meditation is working. From a Buddhist perspective, meditation works because insight transforms how the mind and body relate to experience. When reactions decrease, the body relaxes. When fear lessens, tension releases. When craving weakens, the nervous system settles. Calm is not forced. It emerges as a side effect of understanding. The Buddha described this as the mind becoming tamed, not through domination, but through friendship. A mind that understands itself stops harming itself. Meditation is not limited to sitting, walking, eating, speaking, listening. All become opportunities for awareness. Meditation works because it trains a way of being, not just a practice. When one is mindful, life slows down internally even when externally busy. Choices become clearer, regret decreases, presence increases. Life is still uncertain, pain still exists, loss still happens, but suffering, defined as resistance to reality, diminishes. Ultimately, meditation works because it removes blindness, not blindness to facts, but blindness to experience. We suffer because we do not see clearly. We chase what cannot satisfy. We resist what cannot be avoided. We cling to what cannot last. Meditation opens the eyes gently, patiently, without judgment. It does not promise perfection. It does not offer escape. It does not require belief. It simply invites observation. And in that observation, wisdom grows. In wisdom, freedom appears. Not freedom from life, but freedom within it. That is why meditation works. Not because it changes the world, but because it changes how the world is seen. And when seeing changes, everything else follows. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this.